You guys are gonna make me do it. You're gonna make me defend Ubisoft. That's where we are now? Okay. So yesterday I was browsing the YouTubes as we do, and I saw this video from Moist Critical, wherein he describes something that happened with Ubisoft which went viral. Basically, this was first really blown up in a tweet from Michael, or you might know him as Legacy Killer HD. He's a friend of the channel. I like his stuff. We talk every once in a while, and I'm certainly friendly with him. However, he put this tweet out that initially doesn't seem that bad, but it frankly is based on a lot of misunderstanding related to this topic. What he said is, "This is just horrifying. Ubisoft confirms they will delete your account and purchased games if you go inactive for too long." 3 exclamation points as well. Ubisoft WTF. Another example of why becoming more and more concerned with the death of physical games. Now, first things first, I agree with the premise, the sort of idea behind this whole drama, which is that physical media disappearing is bad for the industry because it allows for you to lose access to games that you previously purchased with real money, even though you didn't do anything wrong. Just because the servers were shut down or whatever else, you lose access to that product that you purchased. I think that's stupid. That sucks. I would like physical media to continue. However, that is not what's going on here. He goes on and shares some tweets with emails that Ubisoft has sent various people explaining that because their account has been inactive for a period of time, they're going to delete the account and in turn delete all purchases on that account, anything associated with it, if they don't respond basically within 30 days. And they followed this up with a tweet from Ubisoft support, which verified once again, you can avoid the account closure by logging into your account within 30 days of receiving the email pictured. So as long as you sign in, you won't lose your account, but if you don't, then the account's deleted. Now, what possibly could be the problem with this? What did these people get wrong, like Moist in his video? Well, this whole thing is being framed as an issue with either physical media dying, corporations being greedy, trying to shut down accounts so that they can charge you for the game again, I guess, or something even worse, something even more twisted, where it's just Ubisoft trying to screw over gamers and being crappy for the sake of being crappy. But here's the thing, almost always, whenever there is some policy put out by a company that just doesn't make sense, there is a reason for it. Usually it's bizarre or it's based on a premise you might disagree with, but usually there is a rhyme or reason for that decision being made. And this is what I said. I was like, I don't know what Ubisoft gets from this. They save a little bit of data on a centralized server saying what's owned by who. Like if they're trying to force people to buy new copies of games they already owned by closing their account down, this wouldn't do it because they're deleting inactive and abandoned accounts. So it's not exactly like that's just going to push somebody out to go buy another collection of Assassin's Creed games. Like they haven't logged into that account in a while. Why would this push them to do that again? It just doesn't make sense. I said, I feel like I'm missing something. And actually somebody in the comment section came in and mentioned something with GDPR, which got the gears turning and actually started to explain this. Now, the GDPR is the General Data Protection Regulation based out of the EU. And as you probably know, Ubisoft's operations are based within the EU. So they are subject to abiding by these rules. And basically, if you dig into all of this nitty gritty, super fun legal jargon, it will describe that there are many instances where a company cannot retain a customer's data unless they specifically consent to having that data retained by said company. There are a handful of ways that you can consent to having your data retained by a company, but usually you would think of logging into the service, showing passively that you consent to it because you're actively using the service, or agreeing to terms of service, things like that, that in a court of law could be shown, listen, they're okay with us holding their data, they're actively using our product, so we're in the clear. If somebody, however, does not log in to an account for an extended period of time, say anywhere from 2 to 5 to 10 years, then there's a really good argument underneath these regulations that that company no longer has the right to retain your data. And with these rules as outlined in the EU, there are a lot of very stiff penalties that a company can face if they're found to be holding on to user data that they're not supposed to be holding on to. You guys remember that 1.2 billion euro fine that Facebook got slapped with back in May? Well, it's actually directly tied to, shocker, the GDPR stuff that Ubisoft is limited to and guided by as well. These companies don't want to push the boundary because they don't want to get fined 1.2 billion euros like Facebook. So they try to stay on their best behavior. And this isn't even surprising. Back in 2021, there was an article posted on PC World by Gordon Ung, which describes all of this in detail, specifically related to Ubisoft deleting inactive accounts. This really is nothing new. And in fact, there are multiple examples in this article where they explain other companies that have done the same thing, such as Riot Games doing the same thing. As you can see here, if you do not use your account for a prolonged period of time, we reserve the right to take measures against your account, including suspension or termination. Microsoft has also done it in the past. The only real exception would be Steam. They don't delete inactive accounts. However, it's important to note that if your Steam account is deleted or terminated by Steam for policy violations or terms of service breaches, you lose all of your games. Your account's fully deleted and the effect is the same. So there's two parts to this. One, this is nothing new and that doesn't really surprise anybody. We still have the right to be upset about it and not like it, right? But the other piece of this is that this isn't Ubisoft trying to be a big, bad, evil company. This isn't Microsoft or even Riot often trying to be big, bad, evil companies deleting old accounts that have been abandoned for a handful of years. This is simply, clearly, them trying to abide by regulations set forth in the EU. If you don't like it, that's okay, but it's not the company's fault for abiding by the rules and laws of nations that they operate within. If you have a real problem with this, frankly, you should be going and speaking to lawmakers and trying to avoid laws like this that protect user information. But I don't think many of us want that. We like our user information being protected and companies being forced to delete it after our consent has effectively run out. But that is a double-edged sword because right now the laws are written by 70 and 80-year-old people who have no idea what Steam is, what Uplay is, what online licenses for video games are. They're writing these laws as if they're creating policy guiding stuff back in the 70s and 80s. So they have no idea what they're doing. And frankly, it creates this weird situation where our laws are written with perhaps a good intent, but they don't hold up or do much of anything for modern life, for modern products like these that we're dealing with. And this is why I'm kind of frustrated. Like, I don't like defending Ubisoft because I think they do a lot of really crappy stuff. I'm going to be very, very transparent about that. I even called their last huge release, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I called that a travesty of open world design, and I am not like super stoked on their management, just to be very clear. However, I do think the truth matters, and as fun as it is to look at tweets that make Ubisoft look really stupid and laugh and retweet and be like, oh, they're so dumb, how could anybody support them at all? It does matter what the truth is. Otherwise, we just end up like the boy who cried wolf. When there's an actual catastrophe or crisis of security or things like that for consumers, people won't really believe you or won't care because you've been crying wolf and complaining about things that frankly are a nothing burger, are just them abiding by policies and regulations which protect user data, which is something we probably all support. And again, no shade to Michael. He was just reporting something which clearly does look pretty outrageous. However, when you look at a story that doesn't make a lot of sense like this one, I do think you need to look at it a little more critically and figure out why this might be the case, because usually there is a rhyme or reason to it. And I was pretty disappointed to see some huge YouTubers, major figures in the gaming space that just regurgitated the headline from random websites that were writing articles based on scrubbing Reddit threads with ChatGPT. And it's just frustrating because I think we need to do a little bit better. And the real kind of tragedy and bummer about all of this is that stories and videos that are sensational and cover the drama that's really captivating probably do millions of views. That Moist Critical video is approaching 2 million views already. But this video kind of debunking it and saying, listen, I don't like Ubisoft either. I think physical media is important. All of this is crucial. However, this is not a scandal. This is them just abiding by the law. This video is not going to do anywhere near that view count, which I guess reflects a larger issue with online media and news and coverage and things like that. I hope that these guys issue a retraction, but I would not expect them to, because frankly, retractions aren't that sexy. and big videos making fun of Ubisoft do much better. So here we are. You happy? You made me defend Ubisoft in a video. God damn it. So yeah, that's gonna do it for me. Make sure to subscribe to see me make fun of Ubisoft when they actually deserve it, because I enjoy that more than almost anything in life. But with that, I will see you in the next video. I'm gonna start building Magnus, so I'm gonna have my hands full. Much love. I'll see you guys in the next video. Hugs and kisses.